Chicharrones, chicharrones.
Para gozar este verano, despreocúpate y para en Kentucky Fried Chicken y recoge la playera. En solo una parada mira lo que te llevas: 12 presas de pollo receta original, 4 biscuits, papas bajadas grandes, ensalada grande, un six-pack de Coca-Cola y esta tremenda neverita Coleman. Todo valorado en más de $30. Tuyo por solo $19.99. Solo en Kentucky Fried Chicken. A gozar con la playera.
I'd like at this time now to recognize the Senate President, the Senate of Puerto Rico, the Honorable Thomas Rivera Schatz.
As well as to the Resident Commissioner Pierluisi, and to each of the other members of the House Committee on Natural Resources. For the record, my name is Thomas Rivera Schatz. I'm the President of the Senate of Puerto Rico. I wish to express my deepest appreciation on behalf of the Senate of Puerto Rico for the great interest you have shown in considering the aspiration of 4 million Americans residing in Puerto Rico. I have come here today to express my support for H.R. 2499, the Puerto Rico Democracy Act of 2009. It is fitting that we gather here today to discuss a Democracy Act for Puerto Rico when we are about a month away from commemorating 111 years of becoming a U.S. territory. Full democracy has not been achieved in Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans who live in the island cannot vote for the president, nor can we elect senators or voting members in the House of Representatives. Thus, we are citizens of the most democratic country of the world, but ironically, we have been deprived of enjoying full benefits and responsibility of our citizenship. The status dilemma of 4 million American citizens residing in Puerto Rico is a civil rights issue. It is an issue of equality and freedom. The right of self-determination of 4 million American citizens is also a national Hispanic issue that is being closely watched by American citizens of Hispanic origin, with great implications in the national political scene today. Our nation has shown its best colors in conflicts around the world. It has shown that we are willing to fight and shed our blood in the cause of freedom. That was the case on 2 world wars, in Korea and Vietnam, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, in Iraq and Afghanistan, and many other international conflicts. Thousands of American citizens from the territory of Puerto Rico gave their lives, shed their blood in those historical conflicts, and continue to do so, defending democracy and freedom. However, those American citizens of Puerto Rico are denied their rights despite our great contributions to the United States. Over 100 Puerto Ricans have died in Iraq and Afghanistan since 2001. Many others have been wounded and decorated for their valor. Surprisingly, still today, their vote for their commander-in-chief is legally precluded. How can we argue that we went to Iraq and Afghanistan to, among other things, provide democracy and self-determination to the oppressed people of those countries, but refuse to grant the same basic principles to the people of Puerto Rico? On this matter, I'm encouraged with the President Barack Obama's commitment to the people of Puerto Rico. On a letter sent to the Governor Luis Fortuño on January 2, 2009, and read during the Governor's inaugural ceremony, the President reminded the people of Puerto Rico his pledge to work with the Congress to enable the question of Puerto Rico's status to be resolved during the next 4 years. President Obama concluded with the following commitment, and I quote, "We will work to give a voice to the people of Puerto Rico to enable them to determine their political future. The time to give a voice to Puerto Rico is now by approving H.R. 2499. In Puerto Rico, for the first time in our history, the 3 traditional political parties representing different solutions for the status dilemma agree on the necessity of seeking a political status that removes Puerto Rico from the territorial clause of our U.S. Constitution. Continuing with the territorial status is not a solution since it maintains the island shackled to the territorial clause. The only acceptable non-territorial, non-colonial status solution under international law are statehood, independence, and free association. I suggest H.R. 2499 be amended to state that the three options in the second plebiscite provided by Section 2, Paragraph C, shall be in accordance with international law. This will dissipate any doubts as to the non-territorial, non-colonial nature of the options. This bill is a good first step to decolonize the territory of Puerto Rico, but H.R. 2499 does not commit or mandate the U.S. Congress to implement the will of the democratic expression of 4 million American citizens. This bill must establish in the minds of every member of the Congress and the President that the will of the citizens in Puerto Rico must be respected and implemented. Without a commitment from Congress to implement the democratically expressed result is to deny freedom. Maintaining 4 million American citizens in the territory without empowerment of equality is to maintain the state of apartheid in the 21st century. If our nation wants to project trust and goodwill to our neighbors and the international community, it must eliminate the anachronism of a territory with 4 million unequal American citizens. I strongly believe that H.R. 2499 should be amended in Section 3 to add a new paragraph E, stating that U.S. Congress shall execute the results of the second plebiscite and approve legislation to implement the mandate of the people of Puerto Rico. Last May, a handful of individuals from Puerto Rico interrupted a session of the Congress to express their frustration about our political status. While we know that the vast majority of Puerto Ricans do not share the political view of this small group, the fact remains that the American citizens of Puerto Rico do want Congress to listen. Give the people of Puerto Rico the opportunity to properly express themselves by approving H.R. 2499, and you will realize that just as our men and women in uniform have defended the American flag, our people deeply value the democratic principles that America represents. In a letter to Henry Pierce written on April 6, 1859, President Lincoln said, "Those who deny freedom to others deserve it not for themselves, and under a just God cannot long retain it. Give the people of Puerto Rico the freedom to choose a final political solution by providing a fair and legal self-determination process based on non-territorial, non-colonial, final, permanent options. I respectfully ask you to succeed where more than 50 previous Congresses have failed. I ask that you recommend to the House approval of the Puerto Rico Democracy Act of 2009, and I respectfully request that you adopt the suggested amendments. I would like to conclude my remarks by paraphrasing President Obama's statement. Those who stand up for justice are always on the right side of the history. Stand on the right side of the history. Approve H.R. 2499. Thank you very much.
I thank you very much, Senator, for your testimony.